I'm in the Flathead National Forest and saw some sign that said waterfall. I knew I was in for a challenge when the sign at the trailhead said, "Watch out for bears. Carry your bear spray," which I don't have any. And it said, "2.8 miles, slightly strenuous." But I guess the slightly strenuous, they had a picture of a heart with a cross through it, and it said 50 and above. So maybe that was the first clue that this was going to be a challenge. I ain't gonna lie, I'm sitting on the edge of a cliff, and it was a challenge to get into this. Pretty cool. I don't even want to take my finger off the phone to turn it off. I'm way up here. All right. This is called Pint of Blood Falls because you'll lose a pint of blood just in the mosquitoes on the way up here. I'm gonna get a little further away from the edge. Oh, it's the Flathead Mountains, or the Rockies. Okay. Way over there is where I'm parked. Yeah. Was an adventure. Oh yeah. Next time, I'm gonna wear hiking boots because there's no ankle support, and the ground isn't level. Way up there. All right, peeps. See you later. All right, on my way down, I tell you, I was at the trailhead, and this woman's in the parking lot. She's got her dog on a leash. The dog's doing something, and she's yelling at the dog in Spanish. And I'm like, lady, dogs don't know Spanish. Just drank out of a Montana stream. Check that off the bucket list. And I gotta say, it was tasted a lot better than the crap I was drinking out of the bottle from a bottle. Now the question will be, I'm pretty confident that it's just melting snow from the top of the mountain, and there's no beaver huts that high, so I don't have to worry about beaver fever. But the only thing probably in it is maybe a little bit of grizzly bear or mountain lion piss, and I haven't heard of that killing anybody. Ooh, speaking of grizzly bears. Just kidding. Yeah, I almost stepped in a big pile of shit on this trail. Not only was it big, it had hair and a shoelace in it. So, I'll tell you later about Glacier Park being full and not even being able to go into it. I lost my mind earlier and just started driving. Ended up down here in the Sawtooth, and I come across this Forestry Service information thing, stand, like a little, where the rangers hang out, but it also had information. So I went in and all kinds of cool stuff, and the lady behind the counter was super helpful, very nice, gave me all kinds of maps, suggestions on where to camp and all that stuff. And I told her I just retired and I'm crossing the country. And she goes, "What'd you retire from?" And I said, "Law enforcement." And boy, did her attitude change then. I mean, I've never seen a top come off that quick. Well, here's my Monday night get lost campsite. It's an actual campsite, but it's like dispersed. There's no services or anything. So anyway, kind of muddy, which is weird. But I just got done eating the same thing I had last night. My stove, I'm heating up some water. Here's my shower or bath. I got some towels ready. Here's what's left of my soap bar. So I am sweaty and dirty from my hike, and I'm going to clean up, put some fresh clothes on, and I went out in the woods and cut down a few trees that I could break and cut. I'm gonna have a little campfire. Didn't come without some form of injury. Everything is sharp. Everything bites and drains your blood. But I'm alive. Well, I just got done eating, cleaned up a little bit, took my little sponge bath, and some dude all of a sudden out of nowhere shows up on a four-wheeler and he parks right on top of that bridge. And he stops and he's looking over at me and he gets out his phone, and I'm glad his works because mine sure doesn't. And it looks like he texted and then he slowly left while looking at me. And I'm hoping he ain't calling his buddies and turning me into like, I'm going to be Ned Beatty shortly. Monday night, after my day of driving all the way to Glacier, then being told that you can't go to Glacier. Plan accordingly. I guess I didn't plan as much, but that's kind of the whole thing about this. I didn't really have a plan other than to follow the Oregon Trail. That kind of misled me to California and up the coast, but I eventually did want to see the redwoods and Mount St. Helens. But anyway, I turned around from Glacier and started heading southeast into the Flathead Mountains, or Flathead State National Forest, and it's huge. Oh wow. Hold on, you gotta see this. There's a deer walking right down past my campsite. Anyway, so Flathead National Forest, ended up finding a pull-off / campsite. Had dinner, same thing I had last night. I've got no cell reception and I haven't had it for, Jesus, I mean, I don't even know the name of the town. It was the last time I actually was able to even talk on the phone. But data is gone. There's nothing. So anyway, I decided to break out. I got that today. I didn't plan on it, but after the debacle with Glacier, I went to the nearest town with a McDonald's so I could get Wi-Fi and start downloading maps and a plan. And while I was there, some meth head heroin junkie was wandering around in the parking lot right next to my van. And he starts nodding off right as he's trying to open up the door. And he's got a bag, a Crown Royal bag with 4 pool balls in it that he promptly dropped. So anyway, he then goes across the street, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on him while I'm doing some stuff. And next thing you know, he's into a little physical confrontation with the owner, proprietor of a liquor store across the street. So it got to the point of he took his shirt off and was ready to go. And I'm like, oh, this ought to be good. So I tried to get my camera out to videotape, but then he decided he was going to wander off. That's when I thought, well, I'll go over and to the liquor store, and I will support their business and also kind of chuckle with them. And I go in and I wander around. I go, where's your beer? And he goes, you don't sell beer in liquor stores in Montana. It's all state run. You want to buy beer, you have to go to a grocery store. I said, well, I guess I'm buying a bottle of something. So anyway, I'm drinking it out of a 50-cent Walmart tumbler with 3 or 4 ice cubes, which is all I have left. I did not get more ice tonight, and I'm going to pay for it. So I'll, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a mad rush to somewhere. My plan tomorrow is to head southeast towards I-90, and I'm going to visit Deer Lodge, Montana one more time. I made a pilgrimage all the way out there with my family about 10 years ago as more of a joke with my buddy Michael, as that's where we decided we were going to visit. When we got our driver's licenses when we were 12 or 13 years old, we decided, yep, where can we go? Montana, obviously, got to go to Montana. Where are we going to go in Montana? Someplace out in the west side. Okay. And growing up in Deerfield, we saw a little town called Deer Lodge, and I said, that's the one. No, he beat me out there. We didn't go together. He got married and came out here for his honeymoon, and I still have the postcard he sent me with a little elk grown on the top of the mountains, and that was our plan. Well, I ended up coming out many, many years later. We went to Yellowstone, and I decided to drive all the way out there just to stand in front of the sign and take a picture and then come back. But I'm passing through it tomorrow. So, all right, well, I'm gonna watch my fire burn out, and then I'm gonna go to bed later.